Hello guys, welcome back to my channel Licensed Immigration, or as you can see in my channel, Licenciada en Migración. Today, as you can see on your screen, we will be talking about the Form I-485 application to register permanent resident or adjust your status. Today, I'm going to be explaining line by line the instructions to complete the USCIS Form I-485 application to register permanent residents or adjust status. This form I-485 is the primary application used by immigrants adjusting their status. Applying for lawful permanent resident green card in the United States, it collects the basic information about the applicant, identity, and check for grounds of inadmissibility. The information on this form also refers to the person who will get a green card, which will be, that I'm assuming, that is you, the one that is watching the video. This form does not ask for information about your petitioner or financial sponsor. Form I-485 is available to free download on the Form I-485 page at the USCIS website. This video, as you can see, it discusses the most recent version of the form dated March 31, 2023. Okay, so be aware you must be to subscribe on this channel to be able to have access fully all the videos for petition, how to fill out these forms. Also, we have tools to help you out to fill out this form, and as well any question that maybe you have on this form will be in this channel as well. Anything that has to do with immigration, most recent, you're gonna be having everything in this channel. So remember to be subscribed and activate the notification bell to receive notifications when I upload new videos. Also, give the like button a like because it will help our channel. And also, if you like the video, why not give it a like? And also, if you have any question, comment below and I will respond as soon as possible. So for the general instructions for the filling out this form I-485, you can fill out this form I-485 on your computer. And the best way to do it is, if you need to fill it in by hand, print legibly and use black ink. Signature must be by hand and ink as well, only blank ink. Do not type your name or use a stamp where it asks you for your signature. You might come across a question on the form that doesn't apply to you or for which the answer is none. For example, part 1, if he asks you for middle name and you might not have one, it's usually best to enter an A or none in a situation like this. Otherwise, USCIS might send this form back to you. If you need extra space to complete or answer any question, use part 14 at the end of the form, which you can photocopy to make extra pages of it needed. Take extra care to include your name, alien registration number, the pages that you will be using additionally if you have one, and so on, in case page gets separated from the rest of your form. So, answering individual questions in this form, the I-485, here are some tips on how to answer some of this. It's self-explanatory section of this form, so we might be skipping some of them. I'm just gonna get on hold on some of the parts for you to have understanding on the parts. I will not be filling out with you guys, but I will be explaining. Okay, it's quicker for us. And if you have any comments on questions of the form, that question that you guys don't understand, you may comment below. Okay, so as you can see on your screen, the part 1 is information about you, the person who is applying for lawful permanent residence. For your current legal name, use the name that appears on your passport. Unless you have changes since getting the passport, also supply other name that might appear on any of your paperwork. Okay, and like I said before, if you don't have a middle name, you will do N-A. You will not leave anything blank. Only there's a part in this form that you will leave in blank, and it's for the officer USCIS. Okay, so you do everything. You have to fill out everything. Don't leave anything blank unless it's in part 13 or part 14. I'm gonna tell you once we get to that part. Okay, the one that you can leave blank. Okay, so for your other name, you will write the other names here. Okay, so for other information about you, it's a self-explanatory. Okay, this will be information of your date of birth, your sex, city of town of birth, country of birth, country, citizen, nationality. When we get to the alien registration number, that means that is your alien registration number. You will find it on your passport or your if you have one, okay? For the USCIS online account number, if you might or not have this, you only have it if you register for the system in order to submit a previous application. If you register online, you might have a USCIS online account number. For the part of U.S. mailing address and alternate and saved mailing address. On this information, given address where UCS can send mail to you, this is important. The in care offline is the only for the people who have asked to others to receive mail for them. Enter the name of the person who lives in the address, and this is the case. Notice that also there's a section alternate and safe mailing address, right? This section option for people who apply for a green card based on being abused or dangerous situation. They have that option here, okay? On the Social Security card information, if you have valid Social Security number from Social Security Administration, which is SSA, check enter the number here. If you don't have one, on filing in the rest of the application, this section lets you apply for one if you don't have one, or for a replacement card if appropriate, if the one you have short limitations based on your non-immigrant status. Under the recent immigration history, where it asks about place at the last arrival into the United States, USCIS is looking for the place where they spoke to CBP officer. This will be the first airport where you landed on your most recent arrival. If you came by plane, if you can remember, this information can be found by clicking the Get Travel History bar on the I-94 website. Date of last arrival refers to you most recent U.S. entry from abroad. You must find that stage stamp on your passport. The form then asks a number of questions about your most recent U.S. entry. Part of the intention it has is to make sure you enter legally in most of the cases. So let me show you which is going to ask you here, okay? Someone who entered without permission is not eligible to have an adjustment of status, which this application is doing for you. As a procedure by which a green card, you need a green card, right? So that if you not enter legally to the United States, it will be a reason which now you will not be eligible for the adjustment of status, and will instead have to do what calls consular processing at a U.S. consulate or embassy in your home country. You need to provide your expiration date or authorized date, that is the date of status of the U.S. will expire. This is almost always different from the date that your visa expires, so don't look at your visa the answer to this question. You could find the day your status expires on the I-94, a form issued by the U.S. Customs and Border Protection, which is CBP. If you came before April 30, 2013, you will probably find a white I-94 card stamped in your passport. If you came after that date, April 30, 2013, by C or A, you were most likely not given I-94 card, so you have to get the I-94 number online at CBP I-94 retrieval website. Have your passport number ready. Some people, mostly students, exchange program visitors, have no exact expiration date, so they are here for the duration of status denoted by DS on the I-94. If that applies to you, enter DS in the answer of the box. Okay, so that's for status. Okay. When it asks you for the status, which is here, the 26C, when you last arrived, if you enter using the visa, the status likely is a combination of letters and numbers, such as F1 if you are a student, H1B if you have been here temporary specialty worker, B2 visitor for pleasure. Otherwise, or if you have no visa, describe your status within a term like student, visitor, asylum, or EWI for enter without exception. But again, if you enter EWE, it's doubtful that you have right to adjust status in the U.S. See an attorney if that is your status. If you have changed your status since the last time you entered the U.S., enter the newer status or you have now. In the following question regarding current immigration status, you want now to repeat the sum of the I-94 status code if the expiration date hasn't passed. or if that date has passed and you haven't obtained new status indicated by entering overstay, in which your case you might not be eligible to adjust your status, unless you're the immediate relative of the U.S. citizen. See a lawyer to be sure. Here again, you might need to enter EWI if you crossed the border illegally but somehow became eligible to the adjustment of status procedure, which is unlikely. So let's go to part two. Part two, let's see. Okay, part two is application type of filing category. Put an X in this box that applies to you. For example, you will choose the box 1A if you are applying through family and are either immediate relative or preference relative with a currently priority date and a right to use the adjustment of status procedure. Box 1B why doesn't want to go down sometimes? Oh. Okay, 1B. If an employer has petitioned for you and so on. With regard to question 2, so let's skip. Okay, the question 2 is doubtful that you are applying based on the Immigration and Nationality Act, INA Section 245, correction, I, that's only for people to whom some very old laws apply, allowing them to apply to pay a penalty fee in order to adjust the status despite their illegal entry to the United States. Usually it doesn't apply to anyone, but if it does to you, click yes. If not, no. Okay. So let's go to the section which is called information about your immigrant category, as you can see on your screen. This section, the first thing you need to understand is the difference between a principal and a derivative applicant. The principal is literally the main person mentioned on the visa petition. A derivative is someone who didn't need a separate visa petition but who was named in and writing on another person petition, probably the parent or spouse. The underlying petition asks who is your I-130, I-140, I-360, I-526, I-19, and who other petitioner sponsor that have filed for you. You're looking for the receipt number that USCIS put on your I-797 approval notice. But if you're filing your petition the same time as I-485, in a few categories of people, such as the spouses of USCIS citizens who enter the U.S. lawfully, are allowed to do the concurrent filing and leave that in blank. In question 4, your priority date, if you're not in a category where visa were immediate available, such as immediate relative, will be found on the USCIS approval notice, indicating the exact date when the petition was first filed on your behalf of you. Let's go to part 3. When it wants to go down, it goes down. When it wants to stay, it doesn't want to move. I'm sorry, guys. Sometimes it doesn't want to go down. Scroll down. In part 3, additional information about you. Most of this part you should be self-explanatory. If you have applied for immigrant visa for permanent residence or U.S. consulate overseas any time in the past, check yes, it does belong to you. But in question 1, you then need to say when you apply and what happened to you. The decision is either approved, denied, refused, or withdrawn by you. There's no need to explain why this decision was made on this under address history. This means to supply information on the background check. Okay, so for the address history, just provide your address history here. Fill out as completely as you can and go to part 14 if you need additional space of the form. Enter any address that won't fit there. The question about your most recent address outside the United States will be in this question 9. Okay. It meant to cover situations where someone has lived in the U.S. for a number of years. If it doesn't describe you, you might be entering an address that you already have entered above. That's okay. For your employment history, it's also required for background check purposes. Enter not in the first box if you haven't been working. In part 4, which is information about you. So let's go to part 4. About your parents. This adds the basic information again. So this is for background and check purposes. So you will enter in this part 4, parent 1. Okay, parent 1. Parent legal name. Parent 1 if they have changed their name after birth. Let's say your mom was married to your dad. Obviously, she will have that legal name if she changed her last name here in the first part. And the second part, her original name, okay? Sex, date of birth, date of town or country of birth, where the residence for both parents. So in this part, let's go to the other part, would be about your part 5, your marital status, which is the most explain whether you're currently single, married, divorced, and so on, and list information about your current spouse. If any this information, under that information about prior marriage as well, you must also indicate you are married before your current spouse. It's particularly important if you're immigrants to the U.S. based on marriage. USCIS wants to understand or ascertain whether you're eligible or not. Being married to two people at once is legal problem. So 1A, your status. 2, if you're married to someone that is in the U.S. Armed Forces or U.S. Coast Guard. Current spouse. 4A until C until 8C. So you write his name, his alien number, he has one, or he or she, okay? Date of birth, date of marriage, city or town, state, marriage, place of marriage. If you're currently applying with your spouse, yes or no. And prior spouse before your current spouse. Okay, so in part 6, let's go to part 6. Part 6 is information about your children, okay? List all your children, including adult children and stepchildren, even they're not immigrants at this time. Especially important if they might wish to immigrate later, because failure to mention them will create doubt as whether they exist. And also write all those children. So indicate all total number of your children and their name. If they have alien number, date of birth, country of birth, if they're applying with you. If not, no. And it keeps on, okay? In part 7, biography information. For purpose and confirmation, then you must choose ethnicity and race and supply other physical information. So your ethnicity, if you're Hispanic or not, race, white, Asian, black, African American, etc., height, weight, eye color. Remember guys, if you're not subscribed, please subscribe to my channel, for you could be here with us, with others as well, receiving the most recent information of immigration. Like if you want to see videos, forms, how to fill it in, explanation like this one explaining. Let's go and sorry guys, I'm messing you guys up. Sorry. Okay, let me explain myself better. So if you want to be subscribed to a channel which you want to have information how to file a petition or form for immigration case, you will be here, right here. This is the one channel that will help you out. So subscribe, right? And if you want to have other tools that will help you up, that you could use to apply for your immigration case, for filing for a family, yourself, here this channel as well is going to help you out with that. So just subscribe guys. And if you want to receive notification, you could activate the notification bell, give the a like button a like. It will help our channel out, and it will help me out as well to know what videos you guys like. If you have any question, comment below. I know I mess up my words sometimes, but you know when these forms are long, talking makes your tongue go crazy. And also I want you guys to know, if you have family that are Spanish speakers as well, we have videos also in Spanish. Okay, and I really appreciate guys your attention to this channel. If you're subscribed, thank you for subscribing. You're watching this video, thank you for watching this video. I'm very thankful for all your support and love. Okay, so let's keep on. In the question 6 is hair color. If you have this type of hair color. Okay. And in part 8, general eligibility and admissibility ground. This section is long and it covers every possible way that you could be inadmissible to the United States, meaning that despite meeting the basic visa requirement, you aren't eligible for the U.S. entry at all due to the past crimes, immigration violations, serious health or financial trouble, and so on. A big part of this purpose of this section is to weed out terrorists If you have been connected to an organization that has violent wing or advocates violence, even if you're only in non-violent subgroup, consult a lawyer. Incidentally, you can also improve the USCIS officer opinion on by listing organizations that you volunteer, such as religious organizations, to show that you're a moral person. Okay? For question 14 to 60 in this part 8, okay, your answers are hopefully no. Okay? So you're going to read those questions, I hope. It's no, okay? In question 24, I went really up. Question 24. Okay. In a section, which is this question is meant for J1 visa holders who are seeking a way around the usual requirement that they spend 2 years outside the U.S. before returning. You have to disclose all the arrests, even if the arrest was a mistake and you were never charged with a crime. You can articulate that got while driving, except if drugs or alcohol was involved, or your fine was over 500. You will have to provide documentation showing what happens to every arrest, charge, and conviction and sentence. Okay, and with regard public assistance, which are questions 60 to 61 and 62. This question is very important for the public assistance question. There it goes. Let scroll down. Okay. Okay. This question 61 and 62. If you receive a certain public benefits, so could be used as an indication that you are likely to become a public charge. Unless you're exempt to the grant and admissibility, what receive public assistance is illegal. It could be viewed as a sign that your income, assets, access to health insurance, and so on won't save you relying on need-based government help. If there is doubt about your financial resources, consult with an attorney before submitting the application. The form then returns to various other grounds in admissibility for which your answer will be in most cases hopefully no. If the true answer or any questions regarding whether you're inadmissible is yet, do not lie, which is not unethical, but is discovered to show any hope that you immigrate to the U.S. instead see a lawyer for full analysis of the situation. So I'm trying to explain to you guys. Answer the question, the real truth on this form. Don't lie. But maybe one of these questions will make you not eligible for the adjustment of status. So if you have one of these questions, yes, like let's say you've been in jail, you've been in a communist party, you've been in prison or jail, prison camp, or anything like that, or fines and stuff like that, you should see a lawyer and attorney, okay? So let's keep on. Let's go to part 9. Part 9. So I know part 8 is very long, okay? So just read the questions, slowly respond as you can. If you have any questions, let me know. Just comment below, okay? This part, accommodations for individuals with disabilities and or impairments. If you need special accommodations for your interior because of disability and impairment, such as sign language interpreter or to have caregiver allowed to accompany you to the green card interior, explain why you need it in this section, okay? In part 10, we almost done, guys. Okay, we almost done. I know it's long. Okay, in the part 10, applicant statement, contact information, declaration, certification, and signature. This is where your applicant for the green card sign. You also need to ensure that USCIS can understand what you're signing and stand by the authenticity of the document copy you have submitted and supply ways to reach you. Okay. Remember, your signature must be in black ink. And if you're not subscribed, please subscribe to my channel for you could receive all the tools and also learn how to fill out your form, your petition, and you are applying for a new immigration case, or you're currently in immigration case, or your family member, or you want to know how to fill this in. This channel is for you, so subscribe, okay? Also, sometimes daily I try to also anything that is useful for you guys, any information, the like news and stuff, I will do it in this channel, just give you a view of it, because I want to help you guys to know, because this channel is about immigration, so I'm trying to get you updated with anything that may help you of immigration. So just subscribe and activate your notification bell. You want to receive notification to see when I upload new videos. And also, if you have any questions, you could comment below. Remember, I have English videos like this ones, and also for Spanish speaker as well. So if you have any family member that speak Spanish and they don't know how to fill out a form, or they have questions for their immigration status, just tell them to subscribe here, for they could have that information maybe that could be useful to you. Okay, so let's go to part 11. So the part 11 is interpreter. Use an interpreter, contact information, certification, and signature. This is a place where interpreter will provide contact information and sign if they rely on interpreter. If you rely to one to answer those questions. If you don't speak English as well or at all, it's best to get an interpreter for a lawyer to help you with the form and sign. Okay. You don't have to speak English to get your green card, but if you need an interpreter of the green card interview, the office is probably not going to approve your I-485 application if you didn't have an interpreter to sign this form, okay? In part 12, contact information, certification, and signature person preparing to this application other than applicant. If you file out Form I-485 yourself, leave the part blank. Otherwise, this is where the lawyer or other person will fill out this form for you, signs, and provide his or her information. Okay, remember the part that I told you before in the first, when we initially started the application? The only part that we leave blank is this part 13. Anything else, NA. Okay, signature at the interview. Leave this blank for now, so you'll sign it when you meet the USCIS officer for your green card interview, okay? In the part, I go to next part, part 14. Remember I told you as well, additional information. This space or this additional information is to expand or complete one of your previous answers. If it's in doubt about whether you can still be answered any question, this form definitely consult an attorney. If you have any questions, confusion, filling out this form, you may also contact a attorney or consult. And I hope I did help you guys with this form. I went quickly, as you can see, because as you can see, it's obvious question, and the rest that I went through is like if you have any confusion. I hope I helped you out. Remember to subscribe. As again, I'm going to repeat myself. Subscribe, guys, if you haven't. And if you have any questions, just comment below. I really appreciate the people that are watching. You're watching. Thank you so much. If you're subscribed, thank you so much for watching. Thank you for love or support, and I hope you guys have a blessed day. Bye-bye, guys. Remember to subscribe to my channel, activate notification bell to receive notifications when I upload new videos, like, comment below, and share. Have a blessed day.